All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers, and we are back with another video. And on this video, honestly, I just wanted to kind of convey my excitement because I woke up today. Obviously, happy Friday to you guys. Happy Friday to everybody. I woke up today and I was thinking, man, am I excited to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play on Sunday, man. Before we get into the video, if you are a Steelers fan or you enjoy NFL content in general, I make videos about the Steelers, and so if you end up enjoying this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're at 311 subscribers, the road to 500. We're almost there. Let's get it. But yeah, man, the overall premise of this video is going to be me talking about how I felt in the preseason, how I felt about this team. And I don't know, I'm getting similar feelings to how I felt. Obviously, our last game was against the Tennessee Titans, and that was a game where I didn't get to catch the whole thing because of work. But obviously, that was a game where things went right up until the Kenny Pickett part. Whereas before, somewhat of before, because I know there are some people still not the most high on Kenny, but before it was like, man, I just wish we had some play calls going for us. Man, I just wish we could run the ball. Man, I wish we could get some protection. It seems like all of these things are now heading towards our favor. And Matt Canada, one game on the sideline, take it for what it is. I got to have hope, guys. 5-3, there's still a lot of game left. There's still a lot of videos to make. I got to have hope in Matt Canada. So 5-3, everything seemed to go well. And then once it did go well, Kenny Pickett kind of took a step back. Now, this is something that if you watch the episode with Brendan right after the Titans game, if you watch that, Brendan may have mentioned that Kenny was hurt. Kenny was hurt coming into this game. And, short week, short turnaround. How much more, what kind of slack can we give Kenny? Because wasn't Kenny hurt? Wasn't he hurt in that game? Hasn't Kenny been dealing with injury all season? Like, can Kenny get that kind of excuse ever? I haven't heard once, besides the 49ers game, that injury as a thing. And I don't want to reach into the bag of excuses here, but it seems like other quarterbacks get it too. And it was a point that honestly I didn't even really think about up until either Brendan or somebody said it. I didn't even think, maybe Kenny has been dealing with some injury this whole season. Because if you watched year one, if you watched him at Pitt, you would know accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. Say what you want about the arm. Say what you want about the zip coming off the ball, and maybe the zip coming off the ball in terms of the NFL speed. Maybe that's what's leading to the accuracy issues. But I don't think accuracy was like a huge problem last year. I don't think accuracy was a huge problem in college. And honestly, there's definitely been the plays this year where the ball is just like, bro, what? Like, where was that even to? So yeah, maybe that's having a little bit of an effect on Kenny Pickett. But we are coming off a long week now. We had the Thursday game, so we had a little bit of a long weekend. On the Packers, I don't want to necessarily slander the Packers. I don't want to, come on here and giving us the win. Here we are 5-3, and we've been blown out by the Texans, who are an all right team. So, I don't want to get too crazy, but we've definitely had our fair share of bad losses. But if we look at the Packers, I have some Packer stats up here. You see Jordan Love's doing his thing, 1,700 yards, rushing the ball. A.J. Dillon has been the healthy guy, but Aaron Jones is certainly back. He had a pretty good game last year. He had a pretty good game last week. And, Jaden Reed, the receiving core is definitely very young. Christian Watson's kind of been going through injuries throughout the year. Romeo Doubs has been a guy too, but Jaden Reed has played really well for them. He's definitely stepped up. But Doubs, as you can see, 5 touchdowns for him. So definitely a pretty big touchdown season for him. But I wanted to pull up these team comparisons, points per game, games, like all these stats right here. And hey, man, like I know games aren't won on the analytical side. Games aren't won by the the stats. And any given Sunday, anything is bound to happen, right? But the story with the Packers all year is they just haven't been playing the best. Once again, they are coming off a win, so great timing for us. They're getting the momentum back. But when we look at, all right, points scored per game, 20-16, 20th in points per game isn't like, monstars, isn't like, groundbreaking. At least, once again, at least at this current juncture in time, we will see when the actual teams play. But the real thing that I want to get to is, as you can see, passing 22nd, not too crazy, only 6 spots ahead of us. But the real thing is rushing yards per game. Where's rushing yards per game? This is against per game. Okay, rushing yards per game. Here we go. This is the big thing right here. As you can see, and we know Aaron Jones is coming back. If I could actually can I see Aaron Jones' last game? Because I'm pretty sure he just ran the heck out of the football last game. Last game was that against the Rams? It was against the Rams. 73 yards and a touchdown. Okay, so that was Aaron Jones last week. Now we bring it back to the rushing yards per game. Really, this is where we are going to win or lose the game if they decide that they're just going to run it whenever they want. If A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones just decide, hey, man, today the Steelers have no defensive front. We have Cam Hayward back as well, but today the Steelers just have no off defensive front. The Steelers cannot stop the run at all. We're 22nd in the rush, but since we're facing the Steelers, we're going to be in first in the rush. If that happens, hey, man, it could be a very long day for us. But if we can just stop the run, if we can just make them the 22nd ranked rushing team, and our rushing at the same juncture can go up, and if if Kenny Pickett kind of gets it together, gets the passes in order, I really think we have a good chance to win this game and to improve to 6-3. And being 6-3, I know it's just a one game difference from 5-3, but given the context of the season, there's been a lot of people who aren't necessarily the most in. I get on here and make the videos kind of playing in the middle just to kind of, both sides, just to kind of get everybody together. But truthfully, at 5-3 right now, I'm happy with the wins. I love the wins, but 5-3 right now, it's a little weird because you got to be like, yeah, we're 5-3, but we just kind of stink on offense, and like random teams that are like 3-win teams are like, oh, the Steelers suck, and it's like, oh, we have 2 more wins than you, buddy. And speaking of that, let me get this off. I'm gonna respond to most of these comments. In like a longer form of an episode. So big trust, guys. But there is one that I did want to kind of pull out here, and I know it's on the bottom. Pickett is terrible. No one cares about season record when you will get absolutely deleted by the Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Jags, most likely Dolphins, and Chargers. 7 teams come the first round of the playoffs, right? This person's name is Tennessee Titans. Now, I don't want to, have too much dip on my chip, right? But the Tennessee Titans, we beat the Tennessee Titans. I don't know about the Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Jags, Dolphins, or Chargers if they beat the Tennessee Titans. But I do know that the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Tennessee Titans. And so when you get comments like this, when there's other fan bases like this that are just making a joke, making a mockery of the team, it really it incites me. It's like, man, we really do have 5 wins, don't we? Like, man, we really are beating the Ravens. We really are beating the Browns, 2 of our divisional opponents. Say what you want about that Ravens game, but as I know, we're 1-0 against the Ravens this year. It's just very annoying when you see stuff like this. And so seeing people sleep on the Steelers almost counteracts the Steelers themselves, kind of, just offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball every now and then just is non-existent. It kind of counteracts it, It makes me re-excited for the team. It makes me feel like it's us versus the world. It makes me feel like, everybody's doubting us out. Everybody's hating on the Steelers. Everybody's done with Kenny. Everybody's done with, Tomlin at this point. Like, we fired Mike Tomlin 3 weeks into the season. I don't know if you guys seen that. But yeah, like, it's just been such a crazy ride. But here we are at 5-3. And the overall summary is on Friday, November the 10th, I'm feeling a little excited about the Steelers. I'm feeling like we're good. I'm feeling like we have a real good chance to win this game, and then from there we'll see. But given the state of the AFC North, given the state of the AFC in general, it would be really nice for us to have this game. Because say we lose, we move to 5-4. Cleveland, they're kind of rolling. Cincy, they've been rolling. Baltimore's been rolling. Like, we're 5-3, but we're still in like must-win territory, if that makes sense. So as I mentioned, I really think we do have a good chance to win this game. I almost let this slip by, but I do want to kind of talk about this situation. So shout out to Blitzberg for this tweet. As you guys know, Chukwuma Okorafor was benched for Broderick Jones, and we really didn't know why up until today, this morning. So Gary Dulak on Chukwuma Okorafor. Okorafor was upset the offense was using the same plays despite trailing the entire game, including 17-3 in the third quarter. It is unclear to whom Okorafor directly vented his anger and what else might have been said or done. But apparently, it was such an outburst that his actions were referred to as significant by Tomlin. And so after that, Chukwuma hits the bench. Broderick is in. Really? I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna dance on this. Chukwuma, I don't think was playing necessarily the best, and so having him get benched for Broderick is like, W. I hate to say it, but I'll stand on. I'm gonna say W for the team. Chukwuma calling out the plays. I mean, you can see the first comment here with calling out the plays and George Pickens calling out plays and stuff like that. I hate to also bring up this point, but I think there's a little bit of a difference between Pickens and Chakuma at this point in life because of the Broderick Jones addition versus if we bench Pickens, who we got Allen Robinson out there. Like, it's a little different. I understand life isn't fair sometimes, but that's it. Just is what it is. Now, I don't know if this is something Okorafor necessarily should be benched for, like just unclear, taking out the opinions, the Isaiah thoughts on it. Like, I don't know if this is something he should be benched for. I don't think this is the whole story. I don't think this is the full kind of transgression of what happened, but hey man, it happens. And so I definitely did want to mention this. Chakuma Okorafor has been benched, and it was a story for the past week or two, and now we get some kind of clarity on it. Chakuma, honestly, shout out to you for calling out the offense. We know the game plan sometimes is just horrible. Shout out to you. Unfortunately, it leads to a bench, and Broderick Jones is now in. Let me take a stance on Broderick Jones, Dan Moore, and Chakuma Okorafor. I'm taking Broderick Jones, and then the next two, hey, man, flip a coin. I don't know. You guys decide that for yourselves. But I did want to mention this. I didn't want to let it slip by because I guess it is kind of the bigger story. Steelers, Real Housewives of the Steelers. The Steelers are a reality TV show, all the narratives, all that. That's the story today. So definitely did want to include this. Shout out to Blitzberg for the tweet. Shout out to Gary Dulock for uncovering this groundbreaking situation. And this has been Zaya from TM Zaya, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.